Namaskar. I'm Dada Veda Pragyananda, and some people call me Dada. Whatever you like, you can do. So today, this is another one of my PowerPoint programs, which I'm expanding into a video. And also, this is going to be one of the videos in a series of videos which correspond to the chapters in my book, The Wisdom of Tantra, which is a basic introduction to yoga philosophy and to Ananda Marga yoga philosophy. So I hope that you'll enjoy it. So today we're exploring the concept, what is Dharma? And really the subtitle is what it means to be human. Yeah, you may have heard of the word Dharma before, especially associated with Buddhism, and even in India, where the word comes from, people sometimes are not so sure what it is, that they loosely translate it as religion or social obligation. But we're going to look at this word in a very deep sense and to see how it connects to our spiritual practice and our also not only spiritual practice, but just our existence as a human being. So we're going to look at the derivation of the word. So Dharma means a property or characteristics. It is derived from the Sanskrit root dri plus man, and the verb form is dharana, to hold, and the noun is dharma, which means that which holds an entity in existence. Is what keeps you together as something, and it's also your basic nature. So the basic nature of various things, I'll give an example, a few examples. So every entity has a basic nature. Fire burns, and if it doesn't burn, we're not going to call it fire. So burning is the basic quality or dharma of fire. That's what it does. So what a thing does is its dharma. What defines it is its dharma, its basic nature. Now animals also have a basic nature. So the basic nature of animals is they have a few common traits. They eat, they sleep, they fear, they procreate, and that's what makes them an animal. So animal is different from a plant. A plant has its own characteristics, and an animal has its characteristics. So animals have their dharma, their nature. They eat, they sleep, they fear, they procreate. This is the animal dharma. Now, humans, it's a little bit more complex, as you know, we're pretty complex beings, because we have two dharmas. So we share the dharma of animals, because we're mammals. So if a biologist will take a look at us, he or she will classify us as a mammal, and then there's the subgenus and all this, and the species, the Homo sapiens. So we share the basic nature of animals. That's no one can deny. We eat, we sleep, we fear, we procreate. We do those things. Yes, no one can deny that. But there's more to humans than just that. And what is more to humans is called Manava Dharma, or human Dharma. And it's also called Bhagavata Dharma, or divine Dharma, or divine nature. Because that's the Bhagavata Dharma is a secret here. Because human Dharma, what is human Dharma, is to become something more than an animal. And we become human and we become divine. So let's look at how that is expressed. So this is really what separates the humans from the animals, because in every human being, we have a thirst for something, for unlimited happiness. That's why humans are very difficult to satisfy. We want something really big, not just a little. So physical objects, psychic objects, they give us pleasure, but this pleasure does not last. It has an end. So you love an ice cream cone, that's great, but how long will the ice cream cone last? Either you're going to eat it or it's going to melt in your hand. It's a very passing kind of thing. and it's not going to satisfy us. After you finish the ice cream cone, you want something else. And when you finish that, you're going to want something else. So all these physical and psychic objects, they give us pleasure, but the pleasure does not last. And yet we have some kind of a deep thirst. So this is actually the cause of human dissatisfaction. So behind the constant striving and restlessness of human life, we have a thirst for a bliss that does not end. So when you have a thirst for bliss, it doesn't end, and you keep getting these things which end, what is that? That creates a kind of frustration, and that's what keeps humans moving, because we're not satisfied with these little things. We want something bigger. So the infinite bliss, this is the secret, can only be supplied by an infinite object. So money is big, but I mean, there's a limit. Even $1 million, you can reach the end of $1 million. You could reach the end of $2 million. You could spend it, or you could lose it, whatever. But it's finite. We need something infinite. So it's not money. It's not gold. It's not diamonds. It's not unlimited ice cream cones. No, there's something more than these physical things. So let's look at that. See what that is. So this is a quote from my guru, Sri Sri Anandamurti, and here's how he explains it. Within each person lies an inner hidden desire that I shall move ahead towards the great, and I will attain him. Pressed by this ideation, human beings forge ahead towards Parama Purusha, which is another word for the supreme consciousness. They have a firm conviction that I shall attain him, I must attain him. This desire is the very essence of Dharma, and this is what prompts people to practice Dharma. So this is the essence of human Dharma, that we have this desire that I must get this great thing, I must get this supreme consciousness, and then we, because of this desire, then people practice something to reach that, and that's what we're going to talk about. So how do we do it? Yeah, that's always the trickiest question. It's easy to say in philosophy, you have to get the infinite. Okay, but how are we going to get there? So we want to be very practical, how we're going to get there. So there's a path to it, and that path is part of the human unfolding. It's built in with us. So there are three components of our divine nature which enable us to get infinite bliss. So there are three parts. So like I said, we have our divine nature. We want the infinite, but there's something within us that we can do to do that, and it comes in like 3 steps, you might say. First one is called Vistara, and it means the expansion of mind. Then the second one is called Rasa, and this is flowing with the cosmic consciousness. And the third is Seva, and it means service to the created beings, inanimate and animate. So these are the 3 components, and now we're going to go look into each one of them to see how they're done, how they're practiced, how they manifest in human life. So Vistara is expansion of mind. So we have to expand our mind beyond our normal confines. So for instance, if I tell you to think about yourself, I say, who are you? And you tell me who you are. You take out your passport, show me your name, your name, or you show, I'm this nationality, I'm this, I'm a male, I'm white, or I'm black, or I'm red, or I'm brown, and you will define yourself. But we have to go beyond this kind of thinking. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but there's something more. So we have to expand our mind beyond our normal way of thinking. And we have to see the cosmic consciousness in all beings and things, including in ourselves. So you're not just a sack of skin and bones. You have to see that within yourself, this cosmic consciousness is there. And that cosmic consciousness is within all other living beings, or even in inanimate beings. And we have to go beyond our identity. So that's what I was talking about before, whether national, linguistic, or religious group. really, when we expand our mind, we're beyond all of that. Maybe I'll tell you something at the end about that, a little secret. And so how are we going to do that? How are we going to get out of this box? This box. And meditation is the way. Because when you meditate, you have to forget about the surroundings. You have to forget about this body, whether it's an old body or a new body or a young body or a beautiful body or whatever body. You forget it. That's not going to help you. A beautiful face is not going to help you to reach the infinite. So we just forget about that for now. And we have to bring our mind within. And this is, Vistara begins in meditation, because you have to meditate not on the limited, but you have to expand your mind to reach the infinite. To reach the infinite. Just to think about the infinite expands your mind. So, the practice of Vistara, how are we going to do it? Here's a quote from my guru again. Direct the mind towards the vast cosmic entity. This psychic movement towards the vast cosmic entity is not dependent on external factors. To move towards that supreme entity, one must first overcome and transcend all sorts of meanness and pettiness. Yeah, so this is something which is not it's not an easy task. So, because normally our mind is directed towards either the things around us or to the chit-chat of the mind, the different things you're thinking about. You're thinking about what happened today and what am I going to do tomorrow. Someone said this to me and tomorrow I'm going to say that to him or her, things like this. So our mind is, we're directed usually towards the outer things. So we have to make an effort to redirect the mind and take it beyond these external factors and move it towards the cosmic consciousness. And that's really what the practice of spiritual meditation is all about. And when, as you do that, as I said before, you have to expand beyond the confines of who you think you are and what you think you are. You're going to become something vaster, greater. So this is the practice of Vistara. And so then, when you start to get a little bit adept in that Vistara, certain feelings arise. And you don't feel so much of the I feeling, the little, because there's two I's. There's a little I and there's a bigger I, the I of I know I exist, a consciousness I. So when you start to practice, some good things happen. So Rasa means to be saturated with ever blissful awareness, to enliven human existence with sweet freshness. This becomes possible only when one maintains a constant link with the Supreme Entity, from whom one's individual existence has merged. So this is the pleasurable part of as you got into that flow of meditation. That's also, I'm foreshadowing another meaning of Rasa. But as you get into meditation, you start to get a feeling of bliss that I'm not just this physical entity. There's something wonderful inside of me, or at the core of my being. And also the world is suffused with something wonderful. And you're feeling this sweet freshness, is what my guru calls it. So this is one of the things that happens. So and even because it becomes like you feel like dancing. That's what the iconography, there's a divine dance of Krishna. You might have seen the icon of Krishna is dancing, and there are all the cowherders around him dancing with him. So this kirtan dance, this dance of joy, is the rasa, is a dance of joy. So life becomes a dance of joy when you get into the flow of the cosmic consciousness. So He's like there are two kind of flows you can be into. You can be into your individual flows. You're rowing your boat. But you can go let the cosmic flow carry your boat. And when you do that, you become light, and your mind is the load is lifted from your mind, and there's a flow, and it's a sweet flow, and you feel almost like you instead of walking with heavy feet on the ground, you're dancing. Your toes are coming up, and you're floating. This is the meaning of the Rasa Lila in mythology, and the kirtan dance. If you've seen this, there's a dance we call Lalita Marmika, which we'll show in some other videos. This dance helps to bring that flow, and the singing of chanting of kirtan, of the name of the Lord, divine, and bhajan, some divine songs. This also helps to bring about this flow. So first we expand the mind, we get out of the box, and we take the mind further and further, and then we start to enjoy, we start to feel a new freshness in ourselves, and as we perceive the world, we perceive it in a new way. So this is called rasa. Then what happens? Yeah, thy will be done. So that's what I was trying to say before. See, when you're trying to row your little boat alone, you're thinking, oh, I will do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I can do it. But then when you realize that you're in the flow, the cosmic flow, you say, not my will be done, but thy will be done. So that's in religion's parlance when people start to think that not my little ego, but I'm surrendered to something bigger. I'm part of something bigger. This is really the essence of rasa, when you can merge yourself in something bigger than your little self, and you give up this vanity of that you have to perform everything, you have to do everything, you're responsible. No, you're part of something much bigger. This is the rasa. This is the flow, the flowing with cosmic consciousness, and it's the flow of bliss. Then you've expanded the mind. You start to enjoy it, and you're flowing with the cosmic consciousness. But then something else happens. So that something else is that there awakens in you, and you'll see it in all a lot of humans. They reach a state where they feel that they have to do some service. They feel serviceful. Of course, like I said, in the rasa, it's not my will, it's thy will. You're not thinking of the petty me, and we're thinking of something bigger. And when we think of something bigger, we want to serve that something bigger. Okay, yeah. So when okay, I'm going to go back maybe. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm sorry, there's little interruptions here, but when you've done this Vistara, you've done this rasa, you're enjoying, then service nature wakes up in humans. So what is this service nature? So the service nature is like this, that you want to serve all human beings. So service is not business. This is an important thing to realize. Service is unilateral. That means that you give something, but you don't expect anything in return. So this is what awakens in humans as they become more evolved, or let's say you can say they've gone further on the spiritual path. We say that we want to serve others, and we don't want anything in return. We want to just do something. So what are the different types of service? So the service to humans, and the service to humans comes in the form of you can work, you can build a bridge, build a house, you can protect people from harm. So the first service, working, is like with your physical body. Protection is with your bravery. You can teach people and give them intellectual help, or you can provide them with the physical means that they need through money or contributions. So these are the ways to serve humans. And when we do this service, we're not asking, okay, I built this house for you, now you pay me. No, I protected you from the harm, now you pay me. No, we did this, it was service. So we should do service to people. And we can do service to ancestors, remembering them and their contribution to the world. Just as a remembrance, that's the only way to serve them. You can't, once they're gone from this world, there's nothing you can do that's going to help them like in a normal sense. And we can do an internal service to God who's within us through our meditation. So these are the different types of the service that we can do as humans. And this is key here. This is very important. When the service is done, we transcend ego. We transcend ego. So that's why, like I've often told people, when you meditate, one of the biggest problems is that you can't get out of this box of you. You're thinking, my this. So, but when you do service, you start to think of others, then we forget about the ego, what to speak of transcending it. So service is one of the best tools for transcending the ego. Oh, did I have that here? Service to plants and animals in the created world. That's another kind of service. So, like I do service too. I have my birds outside that I feed them, and I have some plants that I water and I take care of. And sometimes I think I should feed these plants and animals even before I feed myself. So if you can get into that kind of flow, that's good. But anyway, so we'll do service to humans through the different ways, service to the plants and animals, service to our ancestors by remembering them and their contribution. And we'll do internal service by meditating. And when we do all this service, we will transcend the ego. I promise. Yes, you will. You will. If you start to think of others more than yourself, you're going to, you'll see that something is blooming in you. You become a better person. And what is the goal of all this? What is the result? It's called Brahma Tadstitihi, merger with Brahma. So I think there's also a quote from my guru. Human beings have the tendency to merge in Parama Purusha, Supreme Consciousness, for he is the only Desiddharatam, Supreme Desiddharatam of all unit beings. Thus, we find that the essential characteristics of Bhagavata Dharma are expansion, flow, and service. And the final goal is ensconcement in Parama Purusha. You become one with what you're meditating on. So this is the goal of it. So this is really what human Dharma is about. It's to realize this. This is why you're different from the puppy dog or the cat or the cow or the animals. They're nice, all the animals are nice, but they don't have, this is not what's driving them. They have a different kind of Dharma. So the human Dharma is to transcend. And one thing I wanted to tell you, when you merge with God, you're not going to go as a white person, American person, or you're a Buddhist, a Jain, or a Jew, or any religion, a Hindu. No, you go beyond all of that, and you just merge with God. So you can't take your wealth with you or your prestige with you. You leave all of that behind. So leave that behind, and this is the merger with God. So human Dharma is one. That's why it's one. So you don't go as a white person or a black person because when you merge, you're going beyond these identities. So the fundamental nature of humanity is one. All humans are searching for infinite happiness. Whatever language they speak, whatever background they have, there's something that's driving them. That's what makes us human. Yes. So this process of expansion, flow, service, and merger, it's the same for all human beings. All humans have to expand our mind, and then when we expand it, we have to realize there is a cosmic will and there is a cosmic rhythm, and we have to move with that cosmic rhythm, and we have to start to give up just individual attachment to what we thought we were going to do, and then we do service. Yeah, all humans, when they reach that stage of perfection, not perfection, but what I could say of development. We reach a certain stage of development where service-mindedness becomes part of our nature. So all humans go through this, wherever they may be, and finally they get closer and closer, and they merge with the Supreme Consciousness. This is a path, a one path for humans, regardless of what you might see on the surface. This is what all humans are trying to do. So now the question comes, religions. Sometimes people are practicing some of these things through different religions. That's why the confusion comes. So religions may or may not be Dharma. For instance, if a religion doesn't let you expand the mind, then it's not, in the fullest sense, Dharma. Although in India people say that if you're a Hindu, that's your Dharma, and you're a Buddhist, that's your Dharma, or Christian, that's your... No, the Dharma is what is intrinsic with humans, and the practice of religions may or may not help that. If it's based on dogma or some kind of narrow sentiment, then it may hinder your expansion of mind. So you have to look at this with a critical mind. I don't want to injure anyone's feeling for this, but just look at it, and you have to see if what you're practicing is helping you to expand, if it's helping you to flow with the cosmic flow, if it's bringing you to true service-mindedness, and if it's allowing you to really merge with God, then you're practicing Dharma, no problem. So that brings me to the end of this little presentation. And for more information, just here's my stuff is on the up on the screen here. You can visit my website, dharmaveda.com. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's going to be a link to it, or you can send me an email and let me know what you think. So I thank you for taking part in this short excursion into the nature of Dharma, and think about it. But more than think about it, practice Dharma. Expand your mind, flow with the cosmic flow, do service, and merge with the Supreme Consciousness. And this will give you fulfillment